So here we are. I have my pork loin. I've cut it in half already, or into 2 portions, just because all my other cutting boards are really dirty right now and I needed to get this done on a 45-minute baby nap. So I've left a portion. It's on this baking tray, cookie tray, just so I don't get the fat everywhere. And I have this other chunk here that I will be cutting up into pork rounds, medallions, kind of like mock pork chops, if you will. That way we can freeze them, package them. It's really good to have this prepared, ready to go. And of course, the meat from Costco, if you're in Canada, it's just an amazing cost for return on value for the dollar you spend. So it's really up to you, the thickness that you want for your medallions or rounds. I personally prefer about a 1-inch thickness in my family, so we tend to go for about that thickness, so about 1 inch, and that provides us with some nice rounds, which actually that's too tiny. I'm gonna have to we are going to actually, this nice strip of meat here is fantastic for doing kebabs. So we're going to use the larger piece to start with our pork chops. And we'll just edit that after. So keep in mind, as you cut these things, I mean, the meat is kind of squiggly. So that's about the thickness there. You can see it's about the thickness of my thumb. I find that's a good one. And you're still able to fast fry it. You're still able to get lots of juiciness in the meat, which you know, I think adds a lot of flavor while getting it properly cooked and not worrying about part of it being raw. Pork, it is important that you do cook it through. No master chef, and if you aren't either, then definitely make sure it is cooked right through so you don't get any foodborne illnesses. So we just cut those into portions. If you really want, you can pull out your kitchen scale and make them more by weight than size, but we find that the loin on the wider end is pretty well evenly sized, so you don't need to worry about having majorly different portions. So we find this ends up lasting for a family of 2 adults quite some time. I mean, we don't need loins more than every few months at a maximum, and that's because we're having house parties and dinner parties, inviting lots of people over. So, you know, when you cook for other people, that's different, but if you're just doing home meals for yourself and your family, whether you are a family of 2 adults with young children who probably don't eat that much or eat pork whatsoever, mine's still on formula, or if you are a family with some older individuals joining you, so maybe a few adults, you know, you could be in a multi-generational home. You could definitely have more than just grandparents, parents, and kids. Who knows? But this is just a really cost-effective way to go about it. The membership cost each year, you definitely, within one grocery shop of just getting a few different packages of meat, you make your money back like that. Like, it's so worth it. There are times where when I was diagnosed low FODMAP, definitely funds were very, very tight, living paycheck to paycheck. But buying that membership, within a couple of weeks, I made up the money I'd spent on it. It was tough to come up with the money, I do have to admit, for myself at that time, but it was, once it was in place, it made all the difference. You know, you spend $20 on a package of ground beef, and in the regular grocery store, you would have spent probably about $50. So right there, one package of beef, and you save yourself half of the cost of the membership. So that's just 2 packages, and you could probably get about 6 packages, 6 1-pound packages out of that, approximately, for 1 package of ground beef. And that just that in itself, if it's just you yourself, is will last you a very long time. If it's a family, obviously it won't last you quite as long, but still it's a cost-effective measure. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And 10. So I've done 10 packages, so 10 pairs of 2 for the pork chops, and we'll be moving on to cut other styles in a moment.